Okay. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Blue. This is a special Sunday series as part of the Autism Awareness Campaign of Sunrise Learning Foundation. And I am Dr. Sonali. And today we have, this is our second special Sundays. The first one was with Vandana Gautam ma'am. And today we are meeting nutritionist Richa Srivastav. She is a nutrition and diet consultant. She's the founder of Nutrospect. That's her initiative. And a very, very amazing initiative of hers is Autism Aware Nutritionists, AAN, which is a platform for training diet consultants, training professionals who work in this area of diet and nutrition, especially for helping children and adults with autism, understanding their nutritional needs. And Richa Srivastav has 17 years of experience in this profession in various hospital, clinical, and corporate settings. And she is a low FODMAP diet expert. She'll explain what that means. So she's a low FODMAP diet expert and a nutrigenomics consultant. She's a nutrigenomics consultant. She's also studying specific responses of various dietary interventions in children and adults who have epilepsy. So from autism to epilepsy, from diet to nutrition, we have our answers with nutritionist Richa Srivastav. Richa Srivastav, I welcome you today to this special Sundays of Autism Awareness Campaign of Sunrise Learning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sonali. It is such a pleasure to be joining this platform and interacting with all the wonderful parents over here. And it has always been, much sought out opportunity for me to be able to, just join any of the campaigns that Sunrise Learning organizes. Because Sunrise Learning Foundation, I have seen in the last few years that I have worked with Sunrise Learning, the amazing things that you people do to empower the people with autism, and of course to the parents is really, it is exemplary, and this is something which is really needed when we handle kids with special needs. So many congratulations to you, Dr. Sonali, and the entire team of Sunrise Learning for organizing this entire program that you have, and wonderful concept that you have brought forward, Beyond the Blue. Of course, I was actually, flabbergasted when I saw the campaign name Beyond the Blue, and I was so overwhelmed with it that I really wanted to congratulate you on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think it's time to start. We have our participants here, and some of them had also sent over their queries and questions to you yesterday. So I believe we should start the session with Richa Srivastav today. Thank you.
All right. I will start sharing my screen. So just let me know if the screen is visible to you all. Okay, just give me a moment, please. I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you. So today we will be talking about how to meet the nutritional needs. Well, we all know there are multiple, when we talk about nutrition, there are multiple factors that come into play. It is not just the food that you serve on the platter that is important. We also must understand what is the thought going behind the kind of food that we are serving, and the kind of food that we actually want to serve to the children on the spectrum, so that we are able to meet the nutritional needs of the children. And with conditions like autism, all of us know there are many challenges when we talk about just trying to meet up the nutritional needs. So this is just a brief introduction about myself. I have been in the field of nutrition and dietetics for the last 17, 18 years now, and diverse areas that I have worked with. So, and somehow I could find my, just calling in maybe autism and the neurological conditions that encompass people. And most of the times what happens is that we do not consider nutrition as an important part of the intervention or the therapy that has to be given, but nutrition plays a very key role in these areas. So with autism also, I have been working on in the area of autism for the last 6-7 years now, and it has become one of my very close buddy kind of a thing. And I really love working with children on the spectrum, and it kind of gives a lot of satisfaction to me when I see the kids improving. So as we all know, autism or ASD, autism spectrum disorder, mainly, affects these areas of our entire personality, which is social interaction, communication, restricted or repetitive movement, and the lack of symbolic play. These are the 4 specific key areas that we see in autism. Now, what will nutrition do? Why are we talking about nutrition in case of autism spectrum disorder? What are the specific areas that nutrition can help? So just, I was actually looking around for something that I can put up so that you all can get a complete idea in maybe one picture. So starting from the gut health, it kind of envelops the entire body. Gut health, and then brain development and function, immune system. We see that immune regulation is very, very high in these children. And then nutrient deficiencies are very prominent. And we all know the main reason behind that is food selectivity, right? Then detoxification. And we have also seen there are multiple genetic mutations that are responsible for the conditions that we generally see in case of autism spectrum disorder. And nutrition management does help out in all of these areas. Now, what are the primary goals when we talk about nutrition intervention, or what will a nutritionist do to help you out in which areas? Why is the role of nutritionist important in treating your child or maybe helping out your child? So first aim would be for any child. The first aim is to help them meet the major milestones of growth. And as we see that when the child is growing, the child on the spectrum, so we often see the children off the growth chart. They will either be falling under the prescribed ranges, the prescribed graph. There is a growth chart wala graph. If you all would have seen जो हमारे बच्चों के जो हम पीडियाट्रिक के साथ में जो फॉलो अप करते हैं, तो उसमें ग्रोथ चार्ट लगा होता है, आप सबकी फाइल में होगा. सो जब हम उस ग्रोथ चार्ट को ट्रैक करते हैं तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स या तो बच्चे नॉर्मल रेंजेस के नीचे फॉल कर रहे होते हैं, या थोड़ा बड़े होने के बाद 5-6 इयर्स की एज अटेन करने के बाद में वो उनका वेट जो है वो नॉर्मल रेंजेस से ऊपर जाने लगता है. सो दीज आर द एरियाज दैट वी हैव टू वर्क अपॉन, एंड न्यूट्रिशन प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल ओवर देयर इन रेगुलेटिंग द हाइट, वेट माइलस्टोन्स, एंड ऑफ कोर्स द अदर डेवलपमेंटल माइलस्टोन्स दैट कम अक्रॉस. गट फंक्शनिंग इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया. gut से ही पूरा body control होता है, in a way we can say that, and gut is the second brain. Okay, so what happens is जब and gut में जो हमारे बहुत सारे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं, राइट, और वो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स का एक पर्टिकुलर कॉम्पोजिशन हमको चाहिए होता है सो दैट आवर हेल्थ रिमेन्स इन द नॉर्मल स्टेट. बट ऑटिज्म के केस में क्या होता है, ये जो बैलेंस होता है माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स का वो थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब्ड हो जाता है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच वी सी अ लॉट ऑफ इश्यूज जो हम जनरली देखते हैं बच्चों में जब हमारे पास आते हैं. ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम में फॉल करने वाले बच्चे मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स आर फेसिंग गट इश्यूज. सो वो गट फंक्शन रिस्टोरेशन के लिए अगेन न्यूट्रिशन प्लेज अ मेजर रोल. स्ट्रेंथनिंग ऑफ द इम्यून सिस्टम. Each one of us know that immune system regulation is something really, really important, and we have to keep immune system at a particular level so that we do not counteract a lot of infections and illnesses. Seasonal infection बहुत ज़्यादा होने लग जाते हैं, and बहुत tummy infections and multiple, there is a myriad of infections, and अगर immune system एक particular range में fall कर रहा है functionality के, then we can ensure that children do not catch frequent infections, और जो हमारा growth का rate है, growth का जो हम milestone achieve करना चाह रहे हैं, वो regularly achieve होता रहे. Then detoxification is a very, very important part of nutrition intervention in case of autism. Again, why? Because of the gut dysbiosis, जिसमें हम gut microbiome का जो alteration होता है, उसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे toxins हमारे शरीर के अंदर build up होने लगते हैं. जैसे गट माइक्रोबायोम है तो गलत जो हार्मफुल बैक्टीरिया है या हार्मफुल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म है वो कुछ टॉक्सिन्स रिलीज करते हैं, या कोई स्पेसिफिक न्यूट्रिएंट्स है, कोई पर्टिकुलर क्लास ऑफ प्रोटीन है या कोई पर्टिकुलर क्लास ऑफ फैट है जो हमारी बॉडी उतने अच्छे से डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर पाती है, तो उसका जो एंड प्रोडक्ट बनता है वो भी एक तरीके से हमारी बॉडी के लिए टॉक्सिन बन जाता है. So ये toxins हमारे body में build up होने लगते हैं, and because of which we kind of see again a lot of irritability and neuronal responses उसकी वजह से adverse neuronal responses हमको देखने को मिलते हैं. So detoxification also becomes important, and the neural function regulation again is an important part. जो nervous conduction होता है जिसकी वजह से हम responses देखते हैं बच्चों में, या we can say things like irritability, hyperactivity, aggression. So all these things can be very well managed if we are following the advice of a good nutritional plan or an advice. So the main aim, जो primary सबसे important aim होता है वो है reducing the severity of the symptoms and associated issues, so that we can support overall health and growth of the child. Okay. अब कोई ऐसे सिम्टम्स हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे सिम्टम्स हैं इनफैक्ट जो डायरेक्टली न्यूट्रिशन से रिलेटेड हैं, जो हमारा न्यूट्रिशनल इंटेक है, जो फूड इंटेक है एवरीडे, उससे डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड है. तो दिस इज द लिस्ट. एक्चुअली लिस्ट बहुत लंबी थी बट एक्चुअली आई ट्राई टू जस्ट कीप इट टू मिनिमम सो दैट आई एम एबल टू कन्वे टू यू कि हाउ न्यूट्रिशन प्लेज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन मैनेजिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स, एंड दिस इज द डायरेक्ट लिंक. सो फूड सेंसिटिविटीज, डाइजेस्टिव डिसऑर्डर्स, न्यूट्रिएंट डेफिशिएंसीज, जो ग्रोथ में लैग है. ग्रोथ लैग मतलब कि जो ग्रोथ चार्ट का मैंने बताया आपको, ग्रोथ चार्ट में जो वो अपने जो स्पेसिफिक ग्राफ है उसको फॉलो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. स्लीप इश्यूज, very, very common in autism, and it can be very well managed if we are following a proper nutrition plan. In food cravings, frequent infections, neuronal dysfunctions, and behavior issues like withdrawn behavior. बच्चा बहुत ज़्यादा withdrawn है, अपने आप में रहता है, which is a characteristic of autism. But with nutrition intervention, we can help in that to a certain extent. या फिर अगर बहुत ज्यादा अग्रेसिव बिहेवियर शो कर रहा है, इन दैट केस ऑल्सो न्यूट्रिशन हेल्प्स अ लॉट, एंड इरिटेबिलिटी ऑल्सो कैन बी कंट्रोल्ड. So, but there are certain dietary triggers जो हमको अपने माइंड में रखने होते हैं. The triggers are many. Environmental triggers हैं, chemical triggers हैं, जो हम everyday toiletries यूज कर रहे हैं वहां से भी ट्रिगर आ सकते हैं. जो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि pollen grains होते हैं, स्पेसिफिकली ये वाला जो सीजन है, करेंट सीजन जो है, इसमें बहुत pollen grains होते हैं. कई बच्चे pollen एलर्जी भी कैचअप कर लेते हैं. So triggers बहुत सारे होते हैं, but today since we are just talking about nutrition, so I will be talking about the dietary triggers only. So specific dietary triggers जो हैं जिनका हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए और जो हमको कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि maximum avoid हो सके. These are the things that should be really kept in check. Food additives, colors, preservatives and flavors. जितने भी हमारे पैकेज्ड एंड प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स ऑफ द शेल्फ जो हम खरीदते हैं शॉप से, चिप्स हो गया, जूसेस हो गए, फिर आपका चॉकलेट्स हो गए, देन जो कुकीज आते हैं जो, एंड देन अगेन रेडी टू ईट फूड्स आते हैं. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज मोस्टली कंटेन फूड एडिटिव्स, कलर्स, प्रिजर्वेटिव्स एंड फ्लेवर्स. तो कोशिश करना चाहिए कि मिनिमम टू मिनिमम जितना कम हो सके पैकेज्ड एंड प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स अवॉइड करें, एंड अगर हो सके तो जस्ट कीप इट आउट. Just don't even bring it in the house. That is the best way to do. Okay, then monosodium glutamate is a chemical which is used in a lot of food preparations for the taste, flavor, for the enhancing the taste and flavor of the food. So foods that contain monosodium glutamate should also be avoided. Sugars or foods high in simple sugars. Almost everything that we see in packaged and preserved foods, they all are high in sugars, sorry, and simple sugars. So those should again be avoided. Mostly जितने fruit juices हैं जो हम डिब्बे में खरीदते हैं या टिन्स में खरीदते हैं, all of these contain sugar. जो कई बार jams हो गए, या इवन व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट थिंग्स लाइक सिंपल नाचोस या चिप्स हो गए, उसमें भी बहुत हाई क्वांटिटी में शुगर्स प्रेजेंट होती हैं. सो दीज थिंग्स नीड टू बी अवॉइडेड. हाई फ्रक्टोज कॉर्न सिरप, ये एक चीप सब्स्टिट्यूट है शुगर का. जिस चीज में आपको अगर दिखाई नहीं देगा कि शुगर पड़ा है, तो मोस्ट हाईएस्ट प्रोबेबिलिटी होगी कि उसमें हाई फ्रक्टोज कॉर्न सिरप प्रेजेंट होगा. So just keep a watch on that. And high fructose corn syrup is as bad as sugar. Okay, so we need to avoid that also. And then artificial sweeteners. बहुत सारे artificial sweeteners हैं जिसमें aspartame present होता है, and aspartame is something that is going to affect the neuronal functioning. So we need to avoid foods that contain artificial sweeteners also. जैसे diet coke हो गया, diet Pepsi हो गया, all of these contain artificial sweeteners. Then these are a few pictures that I could find out, so that we have a good idea कि mostly क्या foods होते हैं जो हमको avoid करने चाहिए. You must also be seeing the picture of peanuts over here. So peanuts जिनको allergy होती है या कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जो high in phenols होती हैं. कुछ बच्चे हैं जो बहुत गिगलिंग, जिनमें बहुत प्रोमिनेंट होता है गिगलिंग अलोंग विद इरिटेबिलिटी. उन केसेस में हमको फिनॉल कंटेनिंग फूड्स अवॉइड करने होते हैं. इन दैट केस, इन दोज children we need to avoid foods that contain phenol. So peanuts हो गया, या कुछ specific pulses हैं जो हमको avoid करने पड़ते हैं, and along with some fruits also like apple. Then coming to the foods, coming to the specific components of food that we need to include, or that we need to understand why is this important to us. So हम mostly दो parts में classify करते हैं, macronutrients and micronutrients.
Sorry for the interruption. Mr. Ram है कोई, please आप अपना stop sharing कर दीजिए, आपका screen share हो गया है, and request all the participants to please mute themselves. Thank you. एंड आपको ऋचा श्रीवास्तव का स्क्रीन दिख रहा होगा, तो उनको पिन कर लीजिए, उस स्क्रीन को पिन कर लीजिए, so that you can continue to see the slides.
Is my slide visible, Dr. Sonali?
Only if we pin it, then we can see it. वो किसी ने गलती से स्क्रीन शेयर कर दिया था, इसलिए वो टाइल बन गया है अभी.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yes, everybody has pinned it. Please continue.
Okay, great. ठीक है. So macronutrients majorly हम 3 classes होती है macronutrients की, carbohydrates, proteins and fats. ये basically वो parts हैं food के जो हमको energy provide करते हैं, which are energy giving. इनसे इन तीनों से हमको energy मिलती है whenever we need that. Okay, so first is carbohydrate, then is protein, then is fats. अब सिर्फ energy देना इनका एक main function नहीं है, इनके और भी दूसरे functions हैं. Carbohydrate specifically is the energy currency. वो majorly हमारे diet में इसीलिए ही होता है कि वो energy provide करे. And then come protein. Proteins का major function है strengthening the body, basically building tissue building and tissue repair is the main function of protein.
Richa, there is a request. Can you please share the screen again? Some participants are not able to see because somebody had by mistake shared their screen.
I'll do that. Is it visible now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. ठीक है. सो प्रोटीन्स का मेजर फंक्शन है टिश्यू बिल्डिंग एंड टिश्यू रिपेयर. सो एवरी डे हमारे बॉडी में बहुत सारे सेल्स बनते रहते हैं एंड बहुत सारे सेल्स डाई आउट होते रहते हैं. सो उसके लिए प्रोटीन इंपॉर्टेंट होता है उस पूरा साइकिल को रन करने के लिए. एंड देन वी ऑल्सो नीड प्रोटीन फॉर मल्टीपल अदर फंक्शंस. इम्यूनिटी के लिए इम्यून फंक्शन, इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन्स या स्पेसिफिक इम्यून कंपाउंड्स होते हैं वो बनाने के लिए. बहुत सारे एंजाइम्स होते हैं जो प्रोटीन बेस्ड होते हैं, तो उनके लिए, सो डाइजेशन के लिए भी, अब्जॉर्प्शन के लिए भी. सो ऑलमोस्ट एवरी फंक्शन दैट गोज ऑन इन आवर बॉडी वी रिक्वायर प्रोटीन्स. एंड देन फैट्स. तो फैट्स आर एसेंशियल थिंग्स फॉर द सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर. किसी भी सेल का स्ट्रक्चर इनकम्प्लीट रहेगा अगर उसको फैट नहीं मिल रहा है तो. सो फैट्स आर एक्चुअली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड स्पेसिफिकली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट नर्व सेल्स मतलब वो सेल्स जो हमारा पूरा नर्वस सिस्टम बनाते हैं, फ्रॉम जो हमारी नर्व्स हैं, जो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड और ब्रेन, सो जितना भी नर्व सेल्स हैं, उन सारी नर्व सेल्स की जो लाइनिंग होती है वो लाइनिंग फैट से ही बनती है. एंड दैट इज हाउ फैट इज एक्चुअली इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड स्पेसिफिकली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट कंडीशंस लाइक ऑटिज्म एंड अदर many कंडीशंस, we talk about the specific importance of the type of fatty acids that we give to these children. So this is how we emphasize upon the importance of the different macronutrients. And of course we all know कि autism के case में there is a lot of restriction in the type of food that the child will be consuming. So restrictive eating की वजह से क्या होता है कि ये मैक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स का काफी इम्बैलेंस रहता है डाइट में, जिसकी वजह से या तो कभी एनर्जी एक्सेस हो जाता है या एनर्जी डिप्लीशन होता है या प्रोटीन डेफिशिएंसी हो जाएगी या मे बी स्पेसिफिक फैटी एसिड डेफिशिएंसी हो जाएगी. सो दे आर प्रोन टू अ लॉट ऑफ वाइड स्पेक्ट्रम डेफिशिएंसी डिसऑर्डर्स. नॉट जस्ट दिस, माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट डेफिशिएंसी, जो विटामिन्स हैं, जो मिनरल्स हैं, उन सब की डेफिशिएंसी बहुत बहुत प्रोमिनेंट होती है. सो this is why we need nutrition intervention in case of autism, because ये deficiencies जो होती हैं not just in short term, long term में बहुत issues create कर सकती हैं. So इसके अलावा अब macronutrients के अलावा and micronutrients I have not included क्योंकि micronutrients बहुत सारे हैं and I just don't want to overwhelm with all that information. So I will be specifically focusing upon very specific components. So then we are talking about fiber. Fiber is also very important. Number one, it helps in regulating the gut health very much. Fibers are prebiotic. अगर हम कहते हैं prebiotic, probiotic. So probiotic जो mainly होते हैं वो जो हमारे अंदर gut bacteria है, वो जब हम किसी dietary form में देते हैं हमारे शरीर के अंदर, then that is called a probiotic. And prebiotic क्या होता है? Prebiotic are the foods, are the dietary components that serve as a food to the gut bacteria. जो हमारे गट के अंदर जो बैक्टीरिया है उसमें कॉलोनी जो है, तो गुड बैक्टीरिया, बैड बैक्टीरिया, हर तरीके के बैक्टीरिया है, बट उस गुड बैक्टीरिया की कॉलोनी को अच्छा और हेल्दी बना के रखने के लिए वी नीड फूड फॉर दैट गट बैक्टीरिया, हेल्दी गट बैक्टीरिया. सो प्रीबायोटिक्स सर्व एज अ फूड टू द गट बैक्टीरिया एंड हेल्प इन मैनेजिंग वो पूरा जो बैलेंस है गट माइक्रोबायोम का, उसको हेल्दी रखने के लिए. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड फाइबर्स अगेन आर ऑफ टू टाइप्स. Fibers again are of two types. Soluble fiber होता है और insoluble fiber होता है. We don't need to go too much into that detail, but of course we must understand कि soluble fiber basically होता है जो हमारे body में हमारी that serves as a food for the gut bacteria. And जो insoluble fiber होता है वो majorly responsible होता है bulk के लिए and stool के pass out कराने में help करता है. So constipation, diarrhea, bloating, and all the other gut issues that the children face. So that means that the fiber intake is not optimum, and we need to have a check on the type and the amount of fiber that the child is consuming. Okay, then there are probiotics. What are probiotics? Probiotics, अभी जैसे मैंने बताया, they are the specific gut bacteria or the good bacteria that we take in the dietary form. अब ये कहाँ कहाँ प्रेजेंट हो सकता है? ये हमारे कर्ड में प्रेजेंट होता है, जो हम घर में दही जमाते हैं, उसमें बहुत सारा लैक्टोबैसिलस होता है. लैक्टोबैसिलस इज अ टाइप ऑफ बैक्टीरिया. सो लैक्टोबैसिलस हो गया या बाइफिटोबैक्टर हो गया, बहुत सारे बैक्टीरिया हैं, अलग थाउजेंड्स हैं. सो जो गुड बैक्टीरिया हैं, दे मेजरली फॉर्म अ पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोबायोटिक्स. एंड प्रोबायोटिक्स बहुत फॉर्म में हो सकते हैं. जितने भी हमारे फर्मेंटेड फूड्स होते हैं, वो सब प्रोबायोटिक क्लास में आते हैं. एंड दे आर एक्सट्रीमली हेल्पफुल टू keep the gut bacterial balance in a good state. Okay, and why is probiotic important? Because it helps a lot in conditions like immunity, focus, excitability, hyperactivity को रेगुलेट करने में, फूड सेलेक्टिविटी को भी कंट्रोल करता है टू अ वेरी लार्ज एक्सटेंट. Okay, so and specifically when we talk about conditions like autism, उसमें क्या होता है कि जो हमारा intestinal lining है, जो gastrointestinal wall होती है ना, तो उसमें छोटे छोटे channels होते हैं. So वो channels क्या होते हैं? वो टाइट होते हैं, काफी टाइट होते हैं, और वो बड़े बड़े मॉलिक्यूल्स को अपने थ्रू पास नहीं होने देते. बट ऑटिज्म के केस में क्या होता है कि ये चैनल्स जो होते हैं, ये जो दो सेल्स हैं, दो सेल्स के बीच में जो ये स्पेस होता है, वो स्पेस थोड़ा खुल जाता है, जिसकी वजह से वो चैनल ओपन हो जाता है. एंड उसके थ्रू बड़े साइज के मॉलिक्यूल्स जो प्रॉपरली डाइजेस्ट नहीं हो पाए, या टॉक्सिन्स, या कुछ हार्मफुल बैक्टीरिया या दूसरे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, वो उस चैनल के थ्रू पास हो जाता है, ब्लड स्ट्रीम में आ जाता है, एंड ब्लड स्ट्रीम के थ्रू हमारे ब्रेन में पहुंचता है. और वहां पहुंचने के बाद इट starts to trigger unwanted responses, unwanted neuronal responses, and also affects the gut वापस. So this is the whole पूरा साइकिल होता है, ये एक विशेष साइकिल बन जाता है. एंड इसको ब्रेक करने के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि हम लीकी गट, हम इस कंडीशन को कहते हैं, लीकी गट को एड्रेस करें. और लीकी गट को एड्रेस करने के लिए प्रोबायोटिक्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Then another very important part, all this से कोई कैलोरी नहीं मिलती, अगर हम न्यूट्रिएंट्स की बात करें तो कोई स्पेसिफिक न्यूट्रिएंट नहीं मिलता, बट इट इज एक्सट्रीमली इम्पोर्टेंट एंड ऑल ऑफ अस नो अबाउट इट. इट इज वाटर. Okay, and water, हमारे पूरे body में approximately 70 to 75% of body is formed of water, and it is a medium of each and every reaction or each or every process that is going on in our body. So that is the importance of water. And mostly हमने देखा है कि autism के केस में जब बच्चे हमारे पास constipation के issues के साथ आते हैं, so we have seen that हम initially जब water intake increase करते हैं, तो उसके साथ ही उनका कॉन्स्टिपेशन कुछ लेवल तक करेक्ट हो जाता है. So water intake is extremely important, and we must focus upon that. We must have a tab on the amount of water that the child is consuming. क्या क्या इंक्लूड करना चाहिए डाइट में? ओके, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इंक्लूजन्स, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट कम्स इनटू माइंड इज अ हाई क्वालिटी प्रोटीन सोर्सेज. जितने भी हमारे प्रोटीन्स हैं हमारे जो शरीर के अंदर, जो हमारा जो भी टिश्यू बन रहे हैं, या जो टिश्यू का रिपेयर चल रहा है, जो इम्यून प्रोसेस चल रहे हैं, जो डाइजेस्टिव प्रोसेस चल रहा है, जो पूरा मेटाबॉलिक फंक्शन जो 24 घंटा चलता रहता है, उसके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है प्रोटीन्स. ओके, सो प्रोटीन सोर्सेज मेजरली एग, पल्सेस, नट्स, डेयरी, मीट, these are the major sources of protein. उसके अलावा cereal grains also provide us a good amount of protein, and of course there is a class of vegetables which also provide a good amount of proteins. So protein sources every meal में include करना important होता है. Okay, then good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Now omega-3 fatty acids क्या होते हैं? Omega-3 fatty acids, जैसा मैंने पहले बताया था, फैट्स के कुछ स्पेसिफिक क्लासेस हैं जो हमारे जो नर्व सेल्स है, नर्व सेल्स की आउटरमोस्ट कवरिंग को बनाने के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. सो ओमेगा-3 फैटी एसिड्स आर दोज क्लास ऑफ फैट्स जो इंपॉर्टेंट होता है आउटरमोस्ट कवरिंग को बनाने के लिए. एंड जितने भी ओमेगा-3 रिच फूड्स है वो एवरीडे हमारे डाइट में इंक्लूड करना जरूरी हो जाता है. एंड स्पेसिफिकली इन कंडीशंस लाइक ऑटिज्म, जहाँ पे नर्वस कंडक्शन अफेक्टेड होता है, उन केसेस में इफ वी आर एबल टू support the good structure, nervous structure, so in that case nervous conduction can be regulated to a large extent. So sources of omega-3 fatty acids, a lot of sources are there. बहुत सारे forms में present होता है. Normally अगर हम बात करें concentrated source का है, तो concentrated sources जो होते हैं वो fish and fish oils में होता है. But then again a lot of vegetarian foods also contain a good amount of omega-3 fatty acids. Nuts ऑयल सीड्स जैसे फ्लैक्स सीड्स हो गया, सेसमी सीड्स हो गया, सनफ्लावर सीड्स हो गया, all of these seeds contain a good amount of omega-3 fatty acids. जब हम सीरियल्स को जर्मिनेट करते हैं या पल्सेस को जर्मिनेट करते हैं, जैसे हम स्प्राउट्स बनाते हैं घर में, सो इन दैट केस क्या होता है कि उसका जो दो पार्ट्स होते हैं जिसमें एक छोटा सा प्लांट निकल के आता है, तो वो जो जर्म सेल होता है, दैट जर्म सेल ऑल्सो कंटेन्स अ लॉट ऑफ omega-3 fatty acids, and it is a wonderful way to include good nutrients into the diet every day. Okay, then vitamins and mineral rich foods, of course, very 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 important every day की functioning के लिए. जब हम even हमें energy जब derive करनी होती है, carbohydrate हमने खा लिया, but उससे energy कैसे बनेगी? So वो energy derive करने के लिए भी हमको कुछ बहुत सारे co-factors and co-enzymes चाहिए होते हैं, and these vitamins and minerals help us in doing that. Okay, and minerals again are very important for the entire structure of the body, and the best sources are fruits, vegetables, and of course a lot of things come from cereals, pulses, dairy, meats, eggs. सभी foods में होता है, but major concentrated sources of vitamin and mineral rich foods are fruits and vegetables. Okay, and then coming to foods rich in complex carbohydrate. By complex carbohydrate, I mean to say fibers. Again, whole grains and pulses, fruits and vegetables. Water and fluid, we have already spoken about the importance of it, and there are multiple sources of multiple ways in which we can include the increase the fluid intake of the child. It is not just plain water. You can give coconut water, you can give lemon water. We can give freshly extracted juices in limited quantities. Mind you, I'm saying in limited quantities because why? Because freshly extracted fruit juices will also be containing sugar, right? So if we can keep it in a permissible range, then some amount of freshly extracted, home extracted juice can be given, and vegetable juices can be given freely. Soups and shakes are another ways in which we can include more fluids into the diet every day. And ensuring adequate nutrition. So there is a design of a food plate that we generally, use to explain how to keep the food balanced in all the nutrients on an everyday basis. So this is the specific design. You must be seeing that half of the plate is of vegetables and fruits. And this is what we should normally follow. And the remaining half में हमारा grains हैं and proteins हैं. By grains it are majorly carbohydrate sources, mostly starches. जितने भी cereals हैं वो इसमें आ जाते हैं, potato इसमें आ जाता है, sweet potato इसमें आ जाता है. And then are the protein sources. Protein sources में we include your paneer, your egg, your non-veg, your pulses, जो हम sprouts अगर include करें तो sprouts. So all of these things come into the protein exchange. Okay, and we also want every meal to be containing some amount of dairy. But if the child is specifically on casein-free diet, then in that case we may be just including some other form. Maybe we might be increasing more of protein exchange in the diet. So we have to keep individual variations, but this is the general design of the plate that we promote for a healthy, balanced eating for a child. So this is just a representation of what we actually mean to say when we talk about that kind of a design of a plate. So here you must be seeing half of the plate is almost fruits and vegetables. One half is protein completely, and the another half is cereals. Okay, so and when we see this design, we also must talk about the amount of water that is important, and approximately on an average, a child in the age group of 2 years to 4 years need to have approximately 800 to 1000 ml, that is 1 liter of water. And as the age progresses and as the weight increases, this water intake needs to be increased. Okay, these are a few examples of healthy food plates that we can maybe see or relate. And if you want me to just, say that if you are giving your child a healthy food plate or not, you can probably send across pictures of the food that you are serving your child, and I can give you my feedback on that. And supplementation, okay, this is an important part to discuss because we see that there is a huge amount of deficiency that is prevalent in most of the children. So supplements become important. So mostly probiotic supplementation, vitamin D supplementation, vitamin B12 supplementation, omega-3 fatty acids, iron and calcium deficiencies are also very, very common. And there are, and also, see, all of this supplementation, but of course shouldn't be done without consultation. Okay, don't just buy supplements from the counter and give it blindly, because excess is as harmful as deficiency. So just keep a watch on that. Okay, and all, whenever you think of going ahead with a supplementation, a proper biochemical test of the levels is important, or diagnosis is important. The deficiencies are can be physically diagnosed. You can reach out to the doctor, you can reach out to the dietitian and get the deficiency diagnosed. If there is any, then we can go ahead with the supplementation. And of course, there are many Ayurvedic herbs that have found to be helpful in conditions like autism, like Brahmi, and there are various grits that they provide. But of course, I don't advise that. That has to be done by the Ayurvedic practitioners only. Okay, and then what are the efficient nutrition support strategies that can help? Be a role model. That is the most important thing that I can say, because if you think that your child should be eating a particular kind of meal, but you yourself do not like that food and you are not eating, then you will not be able to generate interest of the child into that food. So you need to be a role model. If you want a child to be eating an egg every day, so you will have to sit down and eat that egg alongside, so that child sees that every day, that mom or dad is eating egg every day. So maybe there is we are not forcing the child, but then definitely we are creating a memory into the child's brain that every day mama is eating an egg. So that registers somewhere, and that kind of builds up that memory, and the child can relate to it. And maybe the child, after a couple of days or weeks, the child may start eating egg. Okay. Then create and follow mealtime routines. We all know that routines and rituals are very, very important in case of ASD. And mealtime routines, if done, are a wonderful thing, because that fosters a good eating environment. And when the eating environment is good, the hormonal secretions to support digestion and absorption is good. And if we can do that, we will be able to derive more nutrients from the food that we eat. बच्चा जो खाना अभी खा रहा है और बच्चा जो खाना मील टाइम रूटीन सेट होने के बाद खाएगा, एंड उसके इफेक्ट जो है बहुत डिफरेंट होगा, बिकॉज बाद में क्या होगा, ही विल बी एबल टू अब्सॉर्ब मोर न्यूट्रिएंट्स फ्रॉम द सेम फूड दैट द चाइल्ड इज ईटिंग अभी. Okay, so that is what is the importance of mealtime routines, and autistic children love routines, right? So mealtime routines are extremely important. अगर हमें कुछ change लेकर आना है, that change should be brought gradually. One fine day we cannot come up to the child and say, नहीं आज से तुमको रोटी नहीं मिलेगी, चावल ही मिलेगा. Okay, so we have to bring that change gradually. Maybe we'll be just trying to substitute कुछ different kind का रोटी देंगे, and then बहुत छोटे छोटे अमाउंट पे चेंजेस एंड बहुत स्लो चेंजेस. So that is how we work with the children on the spectrum. And बच्चों को अच्छा टाइम चाहिए होता है, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम चाहिए होता है किसी भी नए फूड को एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए, या किसी ऐसे फूड को छोड़ने के लिए जो उनको उतना फायदा नहीं पहुंचा रहा, या जिसके लिए वो इंटॉलरेंट हो रहे हैं. Okay, so that time needs to be given to the child. Okay, look out for red flags whenever you are introducing a new food, and do not force feed at all, because that is not really going to help. And respect the no. That is extremely, extremely important, because if the child is saying no to certain food and still you are adamant, so that means you are missing out on an opportunity of communication. The child in itself is not very communicative, but when the child has communicated to you the no, and still you are not, accepting his no, then the child will not get a good vibe from that, and the child may again get withdrawn. Okay, so respect the no that the child has given to a specific food, withdraw it. Okay, maybe we will bring it after a couple of weeks or a couple of days, but at that moment, if the child has said no, then just withdraw the food. Okay, perspectives need to be changed. The food should not scare or create aversion. Food should create interest. It should not be something that the child should be afraid of. कि नहीं यार तो ये खाना खाना ही है. अगर ये नहीं खाया तो तुमको punishment मिलेगा. So this shouldn't be there. The food that the child eats should create a good positive vibe, and it should create interest. Okay, and the food should give a feeling of fulfillment and happiness. That is what is most important, and that is the thing which will help the child absorb more nutrients and be able to derive the best benefits from the food. Other effective tools, a schedule is very, very important. We all know that, right? Schedule for everything. Physical activity as much important. I do understand that COVID restrictions are there, and it has become a difficult task for to take the child out and allow him to play. But do find out some time so that you can keep the child physically active to just utilize his energy in the best possible ways. Involve the child in different activities and interest areas. You maybe some child may like coloring, or some child may just like scribbling. So just allow. Paper folding is something which is very, very interesting activity, and some children do like it very much. So you can try out the other activities also. Okay, a good sleep cycle is extremely important. Nutrition does play an important role in regulating the sleep cycle, because there are various factors, various nutrients that help boost the sleep. So that is important. But a sleep routine is extremely important. You have to create that routine, and you have to create that environment. The colors of the walls, the curtains, and maybe just creating that environment is extremely important. Lowering the sounds, not switching on the gadgets. So these are certain ways in which you can help support the child get better sleep. And of course, just giving them a good massage, that is also a very effective thing to boost the sleep. And also massages do help just in calming down the body. Okay, and the child will peacefully sleep for a longer period of time after the massages. Okay, so patience and companionship is extremely, extremely important. Most important is consistency. Whatever you do, just be consistent at it. That is something which will help a lot in the longer run. Challenges, we know there are multiple: sensory processing, eating behavior challenges are huge, and feeding disorders we see quite a lot. Feeding issues in autism, diverse feeding issues. There is no end to the list actually, but just to bring in just to highlight the most important ones, these are the few. Texture focused dietary choices are the most common things that we see in cases of autism. Texture and taste sensitivities are very, very high, and these needs to be addressed on priority. So if you have still not gone ahead to just be able to help the child get sensory stimulation or desensitization for texture and taste, so I would suggest you to just go ahead, get the child analyzed, and if needed, just go ahead with the desensitization processes. Okay, and selective eating is a big challenge. There is a big challenge, and most of the times, and a lot of studies have shown that most of the children on the spectrum who are selective eaters, they are just eating 50% of the foods in every food group. हमारे पास 50 तरीके के फ्रूट्स होते हैं, लेकिन बच्चा सिर्फ 2 या 3 फ्रूट खाता है. 10 तरीके की वेजिटेबल्स हैं, लेकिन बच्चा सिर्फ 1 वेजिटेबल खाता है. So these are very common scenarios. So selective eating is a big challenge. Okay, and selective eating की वजह से क्या होता है कि the type of nutrient going in gets very, very restrictive. The type and amount of nutrient both. And we see a lot of deficiency disorders, and they become very, very common and can actually affect the health really bad. एंड उसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि पेन्स होते हैं, या ब्लीडिंग गम्स होते हैं, या एजेस कट जाती हैं लिप्स की. सो दीज अगेन एड अप टू द issues that the child is already facing, the irritability, the pain, and everything, these all add up. So these needs to be addressed. Okay. And apart from that, sensory issues add up to the dilemma. The child is sensitive to the specific taste or specific texture or specific smell. So that needs to be addressed and that needs to be taken care of. That is why I said that if you have not gone ahead with getting the sensory processing analyzed, so I would suggest you to get that done and get, if needed, just start off on the desensitization processes. Because what happens is कि buccal cavity जो है हमारा अंदर से जो mouth होता है ना, वो that is very much उसमें बहुत सारे nerve endings होते हैं. इतने सारे nerve endings होते हैं कि छोटा सा भी अगर तिनका रखा है हमने माउथ में, अगर हमने मिर्च खा ली, हरी मिर्च खा ली, नॉर्मल सिनेरियो, हमने हरी मिर्च खा ली, आई एम वेरी सेंसिटिव टू दैट, आई वुडंट बी एबल टू हैव दैट फूड, राइट. बट ऑटिज्म के केस में क्या होता है, ये और हाइटेंड होता है. सो अगर मैंने हाई सॉल्ट फूड खाया जिसमें बहुत ज्यादा नमक पड़ा है, मे बी मैं खा भी लूं, बट अगर मैंने सेम फूड एक चिल्ड्रन ऑन द स्पेक्ट्रम को दिया है, सो उसके केस में क्या होगा, द चाइल्ड विल नॉट बी एबल टू हैव इट इवन द स्मॉलेस्ट ऑफ दैट बाइट. इतना हाई ऑफ दैट सेंसिटाइजेशन लेवल. सो दैट डिसेंसिटाइजेशन, अब ये क्या होता है, दिस इज वेरी मच जो इनर लाइनिंग है, इट इज वेरी मच लाइक आवर स्किन. सो डिसेंसिटाइजेशन प्रोसेस बिगिंस फ्रॉम द स्किन एंड फिंगर टिप्स से एंड टोज से, and it helps a lot in improving the diversity of food that the child can accept gradually. Okay. So, and what is the way forward? Just design a routine, introduce new foods gradually. अगर हमें कोई फूड रेस्ट्रिक्ट करना है, हटाना है डाइट में से, अगर बच्चा इंटॉलरेंट है, सेंसिटिव है या एलर्जिक है टू सर्टेन फूड, अगर वो हमको हटाना है, तो just remove it gradually. Allow the child to explore as much as possible. जो भी फूड्स हैं, जो फूड्स आप चाहते हो कि बच्चा खाना शुरू करे, सो जस्ट क्रिएट एन एनवायरनमेंट कि बच्चा वो देखे अपने सामने ऑलमोस्ट एवरी डे इन एवरी मील, सो दैट द चाइल्ड इज एबल टू रजिस्टर दैट दिस इज द फूड, this is a food that the other family is eating. So that will help child to register that food somewhere, and maybe the child will start eating that food gradually. So encourage involvement in the entire process of eating. सिर्फ खाना खाना एक काम नहीं होता है. Procurement, खाना raw material लाना, जैसे fruits and vegetables खरीदना, उसकी chopping, cutting, cooking. So be there when you can, just involve the child in any of these processes or all of these processes. That will again encourage the child to be able to accept or at least see that food regularly. Okay, screen time reduction is very, very important. It is extremely important, and especially during the meal times, there should be no exposure to any gadget or any TV around that time. Okay, and balance out the non-favorites with favorites. This is extremely important. Favorite items, if you want the child to eat specific food that the child really doesn't like, so just balance it out with the favorite food item. So that ways you can gradually increase or decrease the amounts and just to create that right proportion and ensure that the child begins to eat the non-favorite items also. Okay, enough exposure to sunlight and fresh air, very, very important. Exposures to electromagnetic radiations should be restricted and prevent the triggers. We have already talked about dietary triggers. The other triggers that come from the environment, the surrounding environment, should also be just controlled. And most importantly, show your love to the child. The more you show love, the more I do understand that the child may not be able to respond to your love that you show, but of course, this is something that is going to stay with the child for the longest of the time. And embrace a positive outlook. You are trying to do the best for your child, right? And so is the consultant or the therapist or the teacher. So just keep that positive vibe flowing. Don't engulf yourself with any feeling of guilt, because I see mostly parents come and just talk about, when they talk to me first time, it is mostly the feeling of guilt that they are engulfed with. So you need to come out of that. It is none of your fault. Okay, so just understand that and create a positive environment around yourself and around your child, so that you are able to give the best benefit to the child. And this is, just the information that you, if you want to connect with me directly, so you can just go ahead and connect with me on these. Thank you.
Thank you, Richa ma'am. It was a wonderful information shared. We have some queries from the participants in the chat box. If you can please take those queries.
I am not able to see the chat box. So
Okay.
let me.
I will repeat the questions and you can go ahead with that.
Yes,
That way.
yes, please.
Okay. So first question is, does feeding issues remain lifetime or they improve with age?
Okay, so it actually depends upon the type of feeding issue that we are talking about. Okay, with the help of occupational therapy, we have seen a lot of improvement in food sensitivities, and the diversity of food has increased a lot. Okay, a lot of factors come into play when we talk about food feeding issues. बहुत तरीके के feeding issues होते हैं. Quantity, quality, and then environment and sensitivity. So all of these are important, and depending upon the type of feeding issue that we are talking about, we can just address to it accordingly. Okay, if it is just the quantity, it will change. It will change with time and age, and of course your encouragement. The quality, again, we as parents need to learn the how to improve the quality of food. And then if sensitivity is there, when sensitivities are there, we need to address it in a proper way. We need to take the help of occupational therapist in case of sensitivities. And with that therapies, we see a lot of improvement in the children. With age, what happens is children also get to learn to adjust, and they get to just be able to understand how to handle the issues. So it does change with age, definitely. I'm not able to hear you.
Oh, sorry. So the next question is, uh, can you suggest some omega-9 fatty acids, edible oil, apart of olive oil?
Why omega 9? Because we talk about omega 3 and omega 6s more. Omega 3 is the one that we talk specifically. So olive oil is something which is a good source of both omega 3 and omega 6. But olive oil is not something in which we can do a regular cooking every day. Okay, हमारा जो Indian style है cooking का, it is very different from the Western style. Olive oil, or even in olive oil, what I suggest is cold pressed or virgin olive oil, and that virgin olive oil is not something that we can heat. Okay, because as soon as we will heat, omega 3 fatty acids will get denatured. Okay, so olive oil is good for salads and where for the preparations जहाँ हमको cooking नहीं करनी है, जैसे hummus बनाना है या कोई dips बनाने हैं या salad पे डालना है, उनके लिए olive oils are good. But for Indian style of cooking, there are other oils. Coconut oil is considered to be the best one, actually, because it is very high in medium chain triglycerides, and it actually helps a lot. Why? Because medium chain triglyceride अच्छा amount में energy देते हैं, and since we most of the children जो spectrum पर हैं, उनको हमको थोड़ा सा carbohydrate restriction रखना पड़ता है उनका, तो energy deficit ना हो, इसके लिए coconut oil helps a lot. But then again, there should be cold pressed coconut oil and virgin coconut oil should be there. The good sources of omega, a good balance of fatty acids, the best one that can be given is through sesame oil. Sesame oil is one wonderful oil that we can try to incorporate. And apart from that, if the child is accepting strong flavors, so hamara mustard oil is one of the most balanced oil that we can give on an everyday basis. You are muted.
I mute myself and then I forget. So sorry. Okay, the next question is, does any diet like GFCF work for autistic kids?
Sorry, does any?
Diet like GFCF.
So a diet like GFCF will work for a child on the spectrum if the child is intolerant to gluten or intolerant to casein. If the child doesn't have any intolerance to gluten or casein, then it is as good as any other diet for the child.
How much water intake should we give to the child? How much the water intake?
It depends upon the age and weight of the child. As I told you that in the age group of 2 to 4 years, amount of water that should be given should fall somewhere between 800 to 1000 ml. And as the age increases, we need to increase the amount that the child will be consuming every day.
And the next question is like someone is saying that that the child is eating the toothpaste. How to stop that?
Yeah. Okay. So I saw that question in my email also. So number one, first and foremost, why does the child have the access to that toothpaste? Number one, my question to you. Okay. Why does the child have the access to toothpaste to mix it? Why was it allowed in the first place? Now that you have child has gotten into that habit, it is really difficult to wean the child off. But that doesn't mean that there are no ways. There are ways. You will have to be firm. Number one, you will have to be firm. The child will throw tantrums, the child may have meltdowns, but you will have to be firm. See, in a way, the toothpaste that the child is consuming, I am not talking about the fluoride content or anything, because जो हम generally toothpaste use करते हैं उसमें fluorides बहुत minimal amount में होता है. But then again, if the child is having it in every meal, then of course the ppm levels of fluoride will be high that are being consumed by the child, even if the child is consuming a small amount on an everyday basis. So the child has got fixated to that. Okay, so we now need to divert the child from there. Okay, and the child will need the parent will have to take a firm stand in that case. This is not something which will be done in just a day's time or by any particular dietary intervention. It will take a long time for the child to wean off. And the child is old enough. I think the child is 10 years old. So if the child has been doing it for last couple of years, so it is a difficult habit to break, right? So you can get in touch to me personally for this issue, because there can also, I will have to analyze, because there is a condition called PICA. So PICA. So we will have to analyze that also. What happens is PICA के condition में specific nutrients की deficiency की वजह से children get attracted to non-edible foods. Like chalk, कुछ बच्चे खाते हैं. Then जैसे आपके केस में toothpaste है. Then maybe small pieces of wood. So non-edible items बच्चे खाने लगते हैं in cases of PICA. So we do have remedies for that. So you can connect with me directly for that.
So the next question is, how is canola oil?
Okay, it is. I wouldn't say that it is bad. Or even see, canola oil is something which is rich in omega-6 fatty acids. What we need to specifically focus in case of autism is omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, and if you are thinking from therapeutic perspective, then I would say it is better for you to replace canola oil with sesame oil or coconut oil.
And what about ghee?
Ghee is a wonderful thing to have. Okay, ghee is an anti-inflammatory. A lot of anti-inflammatory and anti-allergenic properties are associated with ghee, and it also does have a good amount of a good balance of the kind of fatty acids. And owing to its anti-inflammatory properties, using approximately half to 1 teaspoon of ghee, depending upon age and weight of the child, in every meal is advisable.
Then one question is that which oil should we use if the child is gaining weight?
Okay, so weight gain is something which doesn't have a direct link with the type of oil that you are using. It has got a direct link with the amount of calories that you are giving to the child. Okay, normally in such cases, specifically in children, what I see is that their fat intake is not really high. What is high is the carbohydrate intake. So you need to watch that, how much of simple carbohydrate is going into the diet, instead of thinking about the type of oil you are giving. Okay, so just try to make a food diary. Just try to list down the amount of and the type of foods that the child is consuming every day, and just try to analyze कि कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो जो बेसिकली एम्प्टी कैलोरीज दे रही हैं, जिसमें कोई न्यूट्रिएंट नहीं जा रहा, सिर्फ कैलोरीज जा रही, जैसे मे बी बच्चा बिस्किट खाता हो, या मे बी बच्चा चिप्स खाता हो, या मे बी चॉकलेट्स खाता हो, या मे बी
मैम
एनी ऑफ दीज
मैम
थिंग्स.
बच्चा कुछ भी नहीं खा रहा है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं खाता है, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स नहीं जाते हैं उसमें, मिनिमम
That
जाते
means,
हैं।
okay, so in that case, you need to check out the overall quantity of food that the child is consuming. ओके
Okay.
अगर सिर्फ हेल्दी फूड खा रहा है, तब भी बच्चा अगर गेट वेन अपने नॉर्मल रिक्वायरमेंट से ज्यादा कर रहा है, तो दैट मीन्स द अमाउंट ऑफ कैलोरीज गोइंग इज हाई. ओके, सीधा सीधा रिलेशन है. ठीक है, सो इन दैट केस वी नीड टू मे बी कंट्रोल द पोर्शन साइजेस.
Ma'am, he is 6 and he has 30.8 kgs. He's of that much. तो ज्यादा ही है, I think.
हाँ, नहीं ज्यादा है, बच्चे का वेट ज्यादा है. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, ट्राई टू कंट्रोल द पोर्शन साइज, नंबर वन, एंड ट्राई टू इंक्रीज द एनर्जी आउटपुट, इंक्रीज द फिजिकल एक्टिविटी. ओके, मे बी कुछ डांस, अभी तो क्योंकि कोविड रेस्ट्रिक्शन है तो इंडोर एक्टिविटीज ही मैं सजेस्ट कर सकती हूँ. डांसेस कर सकते हैं, या कुछ एक्सरसाइज रूटीन जो हम घर पे कर सकते हैं, स्पॉट जॉगिंग या जंपिंग जैक्स. So these kind of activities will help the child to burn out some energy.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I ask you something? Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, I had sent a query about the picky eating of my child. I've sent the details in the Gmail yesterday only.
I'm getting double voices. Can you, I think you are...
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
I've sent my query yesterday in Gmail as per the mentioned into the the details of the webinar. I've written everything there about the picky eating of my child.
Can you just read out the query to me?
My voice is not clear. I don't know why it's getting double.
Okay.
The question is like, the child is a
Anupama Rai, I think, has two instruments on. So can you please mute yourself?
I'll just message you, ma'am. I'll just
Ma'am,
message you.
सब लोग को जब म्यूट करेंगे तभी होगा.
हाँ.
किसी का अनम्यूट हो गया है.
So the question is like she sent an email to you yesterday about a child who is a picky eater. If you have gone through the query, can you please answer the query? This is.
Let me just check my mail because there were multiple queries.
Maybe, but
I've sent the mail to Sunrise actually.
So Richa,
I don't know whether it has been forwarded.
I suggest that maybe you can go through the email after the session and you can reply her through email. That would work. So we can take up next queries.
Oh, I got it. Angelica Singh, right?
Yeah.
So, my 8-year-old son on the spectrum has been a picky eater since his diagnosis. Though he looks lean and is very active, in fact, hyperactive and maintaining an adequate weight and height, he has a strong sensory preference. Okay, and won't eat proper 3 meals until and unless the food is appealing to his senses. He smells, touches, and tastes. So, okay, all right. And also texture preference is also there. Okay, so what I am able to understand from this mail is that the child has high sensory issues, right? So, so have you got the child analyzed for the level of sensitization?
He's been having his occupational therapies from the past 5 years also, but I don't see any improvement in the eating issues. I've done all the physical tests also; they were also fine. He's active. He's a little bit lean because he doesn't eat a very full meal.
Okay. That is okay.
I have mentioned the weight, the current weight and the height also of the child. and the behavior issues are there, but I won't relate that to the food. He eats what appeals to his mind. So I have to prepare, apart from the 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The whatever points you have mentioned, I've tried each and every point from the past 5 to 6 years,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, so
So
probably
I've done
what
all that, and yes, they work. They work a little bit some days, but most of the days, we have to try after every 2 hours to make him full his tummy, to make all his daily intakes, whether in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, fat, vitamins, minerals. As far of the age, because he is on a young age, so he seems fine, because maybe some way he copes up with the all the nutrition requirements of the day, one way or the other. But still, it's very tough for us on a day-to-day basis. We went everywhere, and I have not got much help. If you want us to take an individual session, I can also take that. And if you can help us out with that, we're very much disturbed with this thing, because we are very
yeah,
much worried that he doesn't eat, though he is very, very active.
I will have to analyze how much the child is eating and how frequently the child is eating. I will have to analyze that. So you will have to send across a dietary recall to me. Okay, and
Okay.
I will have to analyze that. If the child is getting enough food in those 3 meals, then what is the need to go ahead for other meals, right? But if
Just
the
one
child
thing, ma'am. Just one thing. He doesn't eat that basic roti, chawal, sabzi, and all. He's skipping all the groups. So even if I'm giving it in some or the other way, I'm not satisfied that he's getting enough nutrients like I saw in the slides today. Because maybe in adulthood it can be a problem. He's growing. His needs will be
one
more in
thing,
the coming years. So right now it is fine. Like we can give him choices, but it makes us very difficult, because most of the day goes by fulfilling his dietary requirements. Maybe it's a behavior issue, maybe it's a sensory issue. I'm not sure about it. If I want to have a specific consultation from you through Sunrise or some other source, can you just give me details on
you
that?
can reach out
I'll
to
get in
me. You
touch
can
with you.
definitely reach out to me anytime. And I'm sure I had also shared a screen with my details, but I'll send across my details over a message. And
Yes.
through Sunrise Learning, you can just get my phone number and email ID, and you can reach out to me anytime. I will have to
Okay, ma'am.
analyze the child's dietary recall. Okay, so I will have to
Okay.
do that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a long process, I know, but this is the first webinar I've attended on the nutrition requirement, because I've not seen any other children with this kind of problem which my child has. A sensory-based food rejection, eating only the foods that are appealing to his mind, his taste. He's smelling, he's tasting, and then only he's accepting the food. He'll remain hungry if the food is not appealing. So it's a very big
Let us
challenge for us.
analyze that. Let us analyze that. Okay, unless we
Okay, ma'am.
analyze it properly, I wouldn't be able to tell much about it. Okay, so
Okay, I'll get in
analyzing
touch
is
with
it.
you directly for a specific session on that very soon. And thank you so much for this informative webinar. It was very informative. Really
My
helped us a
pleasure.
lot. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure.
So I request all the parents to ask their queries one by one, and please mute yourself. Please be on mute if you are not talking. So let's go ahead with the queries of parents one by one.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can I have a question now?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. To Richa, ma'am, thank you for sharing such a good session. I have a single query put in the inbox also, but anyhow, it has somehow it has missed out. My kid is 9 years old and is autistic. So I am giving him fish oil. So this fish oil is containing DHA and EPA. So can you suggest me how much milligram of DHA and EPA should be there? Presently, what I am giving is from Nordic Naturals and contains around 1600 milligram of DHA and 900 of EPA. Just learned it from the internet only, Google only. So is it okay, or it is damaging it? Number
How
one.
old?
And
How old is the child?
yes, he is 9 years old of now.
9 years old. Okay. So the normal requirement would fall somewhere around 1200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acid. So just calculate that. If it is falling in under that, then it is okay. But if you have gone to excess, then you need to just keep it away for a couple of weeks maybe.
Thank you, ma'am. And second question is, ma'am, he is having no speech. So, does any food available which helps or improves to have a speech like that one? Give some information.
Actually, there is no particular food that will help improve or just motivate the child to speak. But the thing is that therapies do help. Therapies, I think you must already be reaching out to a speech therapist. I think for the speech therapist is the best person who can help you out.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving the time. Have a good day, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Ms. Richa. Can I ask our query, please?
Yes.
Okay, we have two children on the autism spectrum. One is my daughter is 13 and my son is 11. And being on the autism spectrum, you must be aware that there is lack of self awareness, on image or self image, that whether they're putting on weight or or whatever, like self image is actually very poor. So we make sure that we put them on a balanced diet along with regular exercise. Now it's just seen that my daughter is slightly gaining weight on her tummy, and I also wanted to know that how do we incorporate chia seeds and flax seeds in our regular diet, and if you can also give some some insight on constipation. Sometimes she does have constipation and we have to remind her to go to the washroom, only then she goes and she passes her stools. So in a day she's passing stools once, but there are times when she does go through constipation.
Okay. So coming to the first part of your query, that your child that she is gaining weight on the tummy. So I'm getting getting my voice back. Can you please mute yourself? Okay. So the thing is, the child is at a stage of menarche. I don't know if she has started getting her periods or not as yet. So if not, she will soon be getting into that. So abdominal weight is very much related to that. The body is preparing for menarche. Okay. So if the child has already has already started menstruating, so in that case, well, and even if the child has not, so you can probably just ask her to get more involved into physical activity, exercises. That is important. Okay, and it is a natural process in females to gain a little amount of weight around the waist at the menarche stage. So it is not unnatural, and it is not something which is alarming. It is natural, but we need to keep that gain of weight divided to the entire body area. She will also be gaining weight around her chest area now. Okay, so that is not that you should be much worried about. More important for you should be the overall body of the child and the overall weight of the child. If the child is falling within the good weight ranges, then it is absolutely fine. And with age, as the child grows further, currently she is 13. By the time she will reach 14 or 15, the shift in the body weight does happen. And with improving physical activity, we can help address that concern. Okay. Then the second part is about constipation, I guess. Okay, so constipation is something which is very common in children on the spectrum. And if the constipation is really high and hurting her and is painful for her, then you need to address it with probiotic therapy and go ahead with the getting the food analyzed, if the food the amount of fiber that is going into the food is right or not, the amount of fluid that is going in is right or not. For the immediate benefit, what you can do is you can start increasing her fluid intake, emphasize more of fluids during the day to her. Secondly, buttermilk is something which is very, very helpful. Buttermilk, you can start giving her buttermilk every day to keep the constipation at bay. Other thing that can be included is, just as you mentioned, about chia seeds and flax seeds also. These are the things which are high in soluble fibers, and soluble fibers do tend to have a higher amount of fibers, and again they help to build up the stool and help in passing out of the stool. So incorporating chia seeds, the best way is just to mix it with any of the soup or any of the buttermilk or lemon water or coconut water. Just half a teaspoon of chia seeds in a day will work for her. Flax seeds again can be incorporated in the form of powders. It can be given in the form of just making small bars of nuts and seeds. You can use flax seeds over there also. So there are multiple ways of using these things. You can mix flaxseed in the dough also to make the chapati or anything. If you are making pulao, so in that also you can use flax seeds. In oats you can add it up. So these are very versatile things. You can use it the any which way you like. And there is one thing called flaxseed chutney that comes. So you can also make it at home. Flaxseed chutney is one wonderful way to incorporate these seeds into the diet. You can just simply lightly roast and blend it in a mixer along with maybe some maybe a green coriander or mint, if you like, if the child likes that, just to mask the flavor of flaxseed, and then use it as a spread or along with chapati or along with dal rice. So there are multiple ways you can use these seeds. I hope I answered your query.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. As you said, flax seeds, like half teaspoon per day will be as per her age, right? Sorry, you said about chia seeds, half teaspoon. So flax seeds also we can give half teaspoon per day.
See, the thing is, the since is she menstruating?
Yes, yes, she has already started.
Okay. All right. So, in case of girls, we do watch the kind of seeds that we give. Okay, it has to be in sync with the menstrual cycle, because there is a condition called PCOD, which is very, very prominent these days, and we see a lot of this in young adults. So these seeds, the kind of seeds that we give, have to be in sync with the menstrual cycle. Okay, so if you want to get into much of that detail, so that is, I know it is not exactly related with autism, but since she's a girl child, so this is something that we'll have to keep an eye on.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Very insightful.
So I would ask Richa ma'am, do you have some more time to address the queries, as we are running out of time? Can we take more
And
queries?
maybe just go 10 more minutes. I think we are already at 180. So just 10 more minutes, please. Yeah. If that is required. Otherwise,
In case someone's query is not being addressed, you can always write to us at contact us at sunriselearning.in, which I have mentioned in the chat box. You can always write to us, and we can get connected with Richa ma'am. Any next query, please?
Hi, ma'am. This is Padma. My child, she's 6.5 years old and she's a picky eater. So she eats only 4-5 variety of foods, more on mushy side. One fruit, that is banana. She eats khichdi, dal chawal, stuffed parathas like aloo paratha, methi paratha with malai, and most of her food is sweet in flavor, like salty. In salty, she eats only bhujia and khichdi and dal chawal. That's it. So I'm really worried about her deficiencies. I know there will be deficiencies, and we are working on her feeding issues also, like desensitization and everything. So my question is, what would be the step-by-step approach now onwards? Like, uh, first is we'll have to get her diagnosed by a dietitian or a pediatrician. Then we have to do some tests, and then like what kind of foods, depending on her group of foods which she is taking, like based on her texture, flavor, smell. I'm not sure, ma'am, how she's responding to smell, but texture, she's very sensitive to texture and flavor. And she's on a bottle feed only. She feeds through bottle. She drinks milk 3 times a day in a feeder.
All right. So,
Milk
see,
also we are not stopping, ma'am, because if we stop the bottle, she'll stop milk. And again, that nutrients which she's getting from milk, we'll have to compromise on that.
Padma, I think there are specific areas that that needs really to be addressed in your case, because I see sensitization. I also see food issues like feeding issues. Bottle feeding at the age of 6 years is really not advisable. Okay, and if that, just to omit bottle feed, if you need to withdraw milk for some time, so I would say go ahead with it, go ahead with it, because that is actually required in your case, because bottle feeding at this age will only damage the gums. Okay, so that would be that we will have to look into, and there is definitely a step by step process when we talk about dietary intervention. Analysis is the first thing that we need to do. We need to assess the child. We need to just have a complete dietary recall and analyze how much of the nutrients that the child is consuming. And depending, I do understand there must be texture and taste sensitivities and preferences, and we begin with small steps, one step at a time. Okay, we do not do all the things at a time. We just do one thing at a time, and unless and until we see the effect or response of that one intervention, we do not move ahead with the other. So there is a slow process involved, and this is not something that I can do in a webinar. For this, you will have to connect with me personally, because it needs a lot of give and take of information. Okay, I
Okay,
will
ma'am.
have.
So, ma'am, you do the feeding consultation also, like dietary, not dietary, the texture and the preference intervention.
Yes, of course, of course.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Nutrition intervention combines all of these things.
Okay, ma'am. I'll connect separately, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, madam. My son is 4 years old. He has a need-based communication. We are trying to follow gluten-free and casein-free diet. But how long we should try this diet? Means, and sometimes we are trying to follow it most of the times. But sometimes we give him buttermilk, like you told, for constipation. He has few constipation issues are also there. So I would like to ask you, how long should we continue that gluten-free, casein-free diet? Because sometimes, if even if we are eating toast or like that, he has very much craving for such foods. Sometimes as he doesn't get it, so he show lot of craving for such foods, and sometimes there are few constipation issues are also there. So please guide.
Yeah. So Dheeraj, I just want to know: is gluten-free, casein-free being given under some intervention, or have you consulted and after given the GFCF, or is it just because you heard and read about it and you went ahead with it?
Yeah, we heard word and we have started.
Okay. And have you got the food sensitivity test done for him?
No, madam, no, not.
And so how do we know that the GFCF has been, has had an efficacy for the child in intervention? We really don't know. Okay, has it shown improvement? Has it not shown improvement? To what level have we seen the improvement? Okay,
My
so
yeah, my wife tells that when these foods are included in the diet, he becomes more non-compliant to therapy or to routine behaviors. More of there are few behavior issues and all that, but he becomes more non-compliant or more this thing to when we include these things in the diet. So after including these things, means after gluten-free, gluten-free diet, there is little improvement. Yeah, few some improvement, as my wife tells, as she is more with my kid as compared to me.
Right, I understand that. So, see, what my advice to you would be that try to work out with one specific food group. Just do casein free for a day, for maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or just do gluten free for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and just check out the response. GFCF SF is a
Okay.
big thing and a big group. When we talk about GFCF SF, a lot of things are omitted. Even buttermilk is omitted. Okay, buttermilk will
Yeah.
not be containing lactose, but buttermilk will be containing the protein part, the casein. Okay, so if you are giving buttermilk, then the child is not following casein free, right? Okay, so even if you are giving toast to the child, then in that case also you are not following gluten free. Okay, unless and until the toast is completely millet based toast. Okay, so there are specific bakeries that do give out millet based. I have been trying to find them out about in Delhi so that I can help out. So I'm trying to do that. I'm in touch with a baker who can help. So let me
Okay.
see, just check out more with her. She has to send back an update. She hasn't done that as yet. But of course, if you are actually keen about doing GFCF, first thing that you need to do is get the intolerances tested, food sensitivity test done. Okay, so that we get to know that the child is really intolerant to GF or CF or SF, like any of these gluten, casein, or soy. If the child is not intolerant to these foods, then what is the use of just omitting one important and one such a staple food from the diet of the child?
Yeah.
Okay.
And madam, what can be done for 4 years child with constipation? Means what should be done?
Water intake is first and foremost. Just check out the
Okay.
water intake, number one. Number two is fiber. Fiber comes from a lot of sources: cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables. Check out that. And also try to find out how is the overall gut health. Okay, we can begin if the child is severely constipated. So we can also go for probiotic therapy also if needed. But don't go for it just by yourself. Just get the child analyzed before that.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Now one more question. Sorry. He does not he does not have hunger this thing understanding. Sometimes he is not able to understand that he is hungry. He just cries or show or tries beating something when he is hungry. Now for few days at least he has started asking ki give meal. Sometimes he tells, but most of the time that too now in last maybe 7-10 days like that, but previously and many days is not able to ask for food or ask for meals. So can you please guide? And he is not eating with his hands. We have to feed him.
Okay, okay. So that is more of a habit that has to be developed. Okay, so that has to be, kind of motivation has to be there to make the child eat by his own hands. Okay, maybe you can just give a prize or an acknowledgement or an appreciation kind of thing that can be involved. Maybe giving a particular colored star, like okay, now if today you ate with your own hands, or maybe you just don't begin off कि पूरा meal ही खाना है अपने हाथ से. If the
Yeah.
child begins to eat even just 2 or 3 spoons by his own hand, so just go ahead and give 1 star to the child. So prize kind of rewards work a very good way in motivating the children to do the things that we want them to do. Number one. Number two, second issue that you talked about was he doesn't have hunger cues, right?
Yeah.
So routine is something that needs to be followed in his case. Okay, you need to follow specific, as I told in the session also, that mealtime routines and rituals need to be followed. If we have a fixed time of eating, then the child will start to feel that this is the meal time, and this will send a message to the brain that this is feeding time, this is eating time. So hunger timings will be registered, and the child will gradually begin to identify. It comes with age, and in case of autism it is delayed, but now that you are saying that the child has started to ask for milk, so we see a development, we are seeing a development. So gradually the child will learn if you have set routines for that.
Oh, thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so with that, can we wrap up the session? Because we are already running out of time. So if your queries are being unanswered, please write them to contact us at sunriselearning.in. We'll get back to you. Thank you, Richa ma'am. It was a wonderful, informative session, and it will definitely is going to help us, the parents, a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And it was a wonderful interaction. And I loved interacting with all of the parents. And of course, for any of the queries that have been left unanswered, you can always reach me out. I will just pass on my email IDs and phone numbers to Sunrise Learning so that they can be directly given to you. And probably you can reach out to me from there. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for all the parents too, for being very attentive and being a wonderful audience. And on behalf of Sunrise Learning, I thank all of you.